Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome one and all to this afternoon's Markets Now live trading event and market analysis report breakdown. Hope you're all doing well out there, guys. Had a fantastic weekend, couple of days away to unplug from the noise of the markets, and get away from the negativity. Hope we've managed to get ourselves a little bit more recharged. I unfortunately have actually not really felt that unplugged or recharged. Unfortunately, well, no, not unfortunately at all, but having a house full of extended family members and stuff like that going on, and all as a result of the mother-in-law, as you guys will probably imagine, it's been a colourful week. It was a colourful week, definitely. But anyway, it is all good at the end of the day. It's been fine. It's just been a lot. So my social battery is pretty run down, I think, at the moment. Nevertheless, we are here. We are ready to go. It's a 4-day week for me. Me and my little boy are heading off to Africa on Friday. So very, very excited for that. Get a few days to take a bit of a pause and go and enjoy some of the African culture. Looking forward to it. It's a beautiful place. I'm a little bit worried about the weather at the moment. It's forecast to be 46 degrees Celsius, so that's going to be interesting. But from what I've heard, it is not the same as, say, middle 30s here in Britain or in Europe because of the humidity. It's a different kind of heat. And I do know that because last time I was in Zagreb, it was 42 there, and do you know what? We were walking around the city, we were absolutely fine. So I do know what people mean, so hopefully it won't be that bad. Anyway, let's get cracking on then. So good afternoon to everybody out there on YouTube as well. It's good to see you guys out there. Hope you're doing well today. Looking at what we've got to work through this week, it's a bit of a busy week in terms of the fundamentals as well as our trading opportunities. So we are looking at the US 30 Dow Jones, the Euro against the Australian dollar, UK Brent, and gold as our top 4 trading opportunities this week, spanning across the indices, FX, commodities, and precious metals market, energies and metals markets. So in terms of the Dow Jones, I am looking at the potential for a break of structure move to break through the current highs of where the market's trading and reaching the all-time high. We have been in a bit of a bear flag at the moment. Have been a little bit of a downtrend for our chart. This is so it's been quite a little. It's been a while now, since around the beginning of July. We've been trailing down, but we've had one hell of a move up last week, and I think if we can take out this high that was from around the 22nd, I think we've got a good chance in making our way throughout the week back up to that all-time high level, and maybe even going for a stab at it. If it doesn't happen this week, I think it will fall into next week, but nevertheless, that is the general bias. Now, I don't think we should all go and take trades on the 4-hour time frame based on this information. Of course, we will be day trading these stocks throughout the course of the week, but this just gives us a really good general bias in that sort of general direction and what we think is going to happen. Looking at the short availability here as well, because there is a short, there's opportunity on both sides of the market. The Dow Jones short from the upper limit of the trend is also a nice trading opportunity. We've seen this happen 3 times now, subsequent times in this channel. Okay, this parallel channel with the high and the low here. A move from this area down to the low would make perfect sense because around about this area is in fact where we have liquidity. So a move maybe down to, just there, I would say, just above the lower limit of that parallel channel is where we're really going to start looking at the slowdown and then the turning point in the price action and then that move back up to the median. So I think it looks pretty good. I'm actually, I don't know if you can tell from my voice, but I do genuinely feel quite optimistic about the Dow Jones this week. I think the setup does look good. It is definitely there for us. So it's just about how we navigate the entry barrier and we get involved. The break of structure to the downside is going to be just as simple as it was to the upside. All this is going to require, as ever, is patience, team. That's all it's going to need. That's all it's going to require. So next up, let's move over to the euro against the Australian dollar. We are looking for a break of structure this week via the previous low. Not a huge move by any stretch of the imagination. It's just a nice sort of intraday, maybe intra-week move, maybe looking for a couple of days, sort of exposure on this one. But I think a nice move from just below where it's trading at the moment down to the big point in liquidity. Now, you guys won't be able to see from this very zoomed in snapshot of price action. I've zoomed in because it's a 15-minute time frame trade. But that is actually a really big point of liquidity. So take my word for it. Please do your own due diligence, of course, but take my word for it. That is where the money is. That is where the commercial interest will come into play. So if we can get a breakout underneath the current point of liquidity there, I think a move back down to that low is going to be absolutely great. I think it's going to be there for us. So I'm really looking forward to having a stab at that Euro was as well. And once we get down to that low, it then means that we can potentially look at the bid on the other side and double our money. So definitely should be looking ahead to that one. Now, moving on down to the next row, we've got UK Brent first of all. Now, this one's going to take a minute. We have fresh new geopolitical risk coming in and out of this asset like it's gone out of fashion. We all know the score. We've been thrown around in this like we're inside a massive like a washing machine, isn't it? It's just been terrible recently. 1 minute Trump is attacking Iran, there's missile strikes ensuing, and so on and so forth. The next, we have a situational event where he is calling ceasefires, negotiations are back open again. I mean, this is happening day to day. Okay, this is happening so quickly in terms of periodic value. It's hard to keep up with. So last week, US opened up strikes on Iran. We had a big push. Oil rose from, down at this area here, for example, at the beginning of the week, up to that high. Trump's probably made another couple of million quid just on longing, just buying UK Brent futures before it happened, before he did it. And now, ceasefire. Oh, it's over again. Bang, the UK Brent's dropping again. He's probably sold all of his futures up at the top. He's probably got shorts in the market now. It's just a massive, massive scale market manipulation at this stage, isn't it? We've said it about other asset classes. We've seen the evidence of it happening. We're not just saying it. He said as much to Congress, didn't he? He literally said it. So this kind of stuff it's kind of so public. It's so apparent. And I think we've just got to be super, super careful where the market's doing this at the moment, and we've got to be super, super quick to the draw with what is going on overseas in the Middle East as well, between them and the US, and also keep an eye on what their wording is. We hear a lot from the US about this situation. We don't actually hear anything from Iran, so I think it would be worth our time to actually pay attention a little bit to what Iran says about it all, and to check out what how they're feeling about it, because there's going to be telltale signs in everything, isn't it? Everything they do, there's going to be telltale signs everywhere, and it's just about being as careful as possible. But anyway, I went off on a bit of a tangent there. Long story short, the breaker structure below where it's trading at the moment, big push down to the next liquidity point below, so long as there is no further developments that are going to blow this out of the water. So long as negotiations happen, so long as the ceasefire is in place, UK Brent prices will decline because the Strait of Hormuz will be reopened and demand will collapse for oil. I say collapse slightly. It won't collapse. Demand won't collapse for oil, but it will certainly be reduced, and we will be left with a series of oversupply numbers from the oil data. So next up, we've got our weekly metal markets. We've got gold at the moment, looking for a move either down to the base of the range or to where I was saying was the base of the falling wedge. So last week's trading opportunity, we were looking at the wedge pattern, and we were looking at buying into gold. We bought into gold here. We took our profits here, which is really nice. So we are looking at a similar setup again today. This week, looking for the sell-off back down to the lows, to the bottom of the wedge, and they're looking to buy again back up to the descending level. Now, there is the possibility that the market will continue rallying at first. Maybe it will come up to here. Maybe we will see the beginning of a new longer-term range in gold. Nevertheless, if the market does come up there, we're just going to short below that descending level, back down to here. If it comes down first, we're going to long up to the descending level, and we're going to take our profits there. So either side of the market on gold, we should have some money in the basket. Now, moving on down into market challenges this week, ladies and gents, we've got, as I mentioned at the beginning of the session, a relatively busy week. I say relatively because relative to the previous weeks, there's definitely more going on. The big highlight event of the week is going to be Wednesday's federal interest rate decision. Hands down, that is what everyone's waiting for. Unfortunately, as you've probably already seen here, the rate decision, the press conference, and so on and so forth is actually only coming to a 7 out of 10. I say only. 7 out of 10 is still going to cause probably some sentiment shifts, probably going to see some volatility strikes across US indices in particular. Maybe the US dollar might have a little bit of a move around, a little bit of a bounce around, but I think for the most part, it's probably going to be a bit of a non-impactor. And that is because we have 80% of the market priced in at a no rate change event. So we're currently at 3.75%. The expectation is 3.75%. And right now, there is no messaging from anyone to say that we're not going to move from 3.75%. The CPI numbers were shocking. There is no reason on that regard to increase rates at the moment. They would historically be looking to cut the interest rates by 0.25%, but they can't do that right now because they have a White House administration who are firing on Iran and halting Iran strikes and firing on them Monday to Friday. So they can't do anything. They are frozen, and this is where everyone, this is what everyone's thinking right now. This is the only logical move forwards, not to do anything and just to wait and be patient. So a little bit of a non-impact event there from the Fed interest rate decision. That's my bias. The BOE interest rate decision is happening after that on Thursday. That's Thursday midday around 12. Registering as a 2 out of 10. Not going to be a market mover at all. We've got a US Core PC Price Index event. That's on Thursday afternoon. And that's registering as a 3 out of 10. And then the week finishes up with Euro CPI, which is happening at 1:30 in the afternoon on Friday afternoon. So please do be aware of that one. I don't expect any of you to be in a CPI. Not 1:30, sorry. Not 1:30. Sorry, team. I meant 10 o'clock in the morning, sorry. But I don't think that's going to be a market mover. But I do want you to be aware that the Euro CPI is happening because it can and has previously affected things like the DAX. It has made it have a little bit of a jump. And same as the EU 50 as well. So if you are trading Friday morning's European session, then yeah, you should be aware of it. And then finally, we've got the SSV. Now, the SSV has no, and I repeat, 0 notable callouts. None. All completely balanced, all the same as last week. The only one that I would say has had a slight increase really is the VIX, because that was at 21% and it's got to 23.44. But apart from that, we are flatlined across the board. Right, and that's that. So, all of the information that you have been given in the market report is for educational and informational purposes only and is not a recommendation to trade or invest. If you would like to find out more about our T's and C's, our risk disclaimers, and all of the goodies, then please head over to www.the-utc.com and go and check it out for yourself. And that's that, guys. So without any further ado, let's get cracking on with the chart side of things and leave the report there. So let's break down these US indices for this afternoon and see what we've got going for us. Now, US 30 Dow Jones, interestingly enough, since the report was created this morning, has continued trading higher and has actually been trying to break the high. Now, again, like I said, we're not looking to take the entirety of the move in one trade, but more so using it as a general guide for us. I really like the 1, 2, 3 that we've had there. This is some solid trading margins. We also have a plausible, logical point of entry, which is about here. So for me, looking at the potential for a long in the Dow Jones from about there to there Makes perfect sense. I'd also bring my stop loss up to around the 50% point of that margin down there, and that's yielding a 1 to 2.88. So a really, really nice, healthy little trade idea. Don't think there's anything wrong with that one at all. Unfortunately, though, team, for the short, we're not in it. There's nothing there to be done about it. So we're going to have to move on. Download that one first of all. NAS 100. Okay, nicely done for the NAS, because this setup is for a short. So first of all, we can all see the ceiling up here. We can all see the potential for a floor here. It's not perfect, but that is one. And then we've got a relatively solid trading margin. Now, the market's trading a little bit low into that margin at the moment, but I would like to think that over the course of the next hour, which is what we've got left, we've got 1 hour until the US, we've got 1 hour until the US market opens. I would like to think that we could come back above there. So the market pushes back to liquidity, and then by the time the market opens up this afternoon for the US Open, we can then look at the entry, target, and the stop loss for a 1 to 2.7. Really, again, really nice little trade. If it doesn't come back up to liquidity, it's going to be a shame, but it's not the end of the world. And if it holds it around this area, then we'll essentially just have to be taking this trade just a slight bit lower. So that's going to be too low. So yeah, it's going to have to be about there. So trade idea number 1 sits there. Trade idea number 2, if it's late to the party, is going to be down here. Yeah, that's about there. Right, and then we've got the Standard & Poor's. Standard & Poor's at this moment in time. Not really liking much of anything that I'm seeing about this one. NAS 100 and the US 30 Dow Jones, I think, are in such a good position to have us on a long on one side of it and the shorts on the other. I don't think there's any real room for the S&P at this moment in time. Let's have a little crack at the rest of it then. So natural gas currently trading very, very low. Finally broke through the floor and hit a low down here at 279. That was at 9:15 this morning. Wondering if that one's going to continue. I'm going to put an alarm actually on natural gas, because if this one does want to continue trading lower, we definitely want to know about it. So I'm going to put that there for us. UK Brent already had a stab this morning, 11 a.m. It came nicely below the low. This is now set up a trading opportunity for us. Very, very nicely done, UK Brent. So we've got this area in here, which is going to be our entry. This is the designated breaker structure point. We've got the median down there. We can all see it clear as day. It's 83.75. The median of these two margins, very simple to understand, because we have the 1, 2, 3, 4 lows in the middle there. So it's caused a little bit of a flaw. It's not something I want to fear. It's something that actually is going to give me confidence. When the market breaks through it, I'm going to know that the second half of the run is going to be very, very simple. So if we get the breakout below this area, the run back down to 81.35 is going to be a breeze. So I'm going to price in a short about there, targeting 81.22. The stop loss for this one up at the highs, that's going to be at a 1 to 2.82 risk reward ratio. Lovely little trade. Next up, we're going to look at gold, which unfortunately at this moment in time is nowhere near good enough for us. We have to sit that one out. We already took profits on silver from last week, which is really nice. We have the same exact trade idea taking place again for us. Don't know, do we want to get in this one? I mean, not hugely, I don't think. It's already kind of going, isn't it? So I'm probably going to leave metals for this moment in time. Let's have a quick look at the FX space. Let's have a look at the Euro Oz quick. I mean, this is very, very simple. I mean, self-explanatory, isn't it? The Euro Oz. Very, very simple. So we've got the entry. The entry is going to be entry is going to be about there. Yeah, so entry about there. Targeting the floor. Stop loss probably about there, maybe a touch higher. That's going to yield you a 1 to 3. So that's pretty decent as well. Yeah, cool. All right, team. Well, that's about it from me then today. That concludes the full breakdown for the market report, plus looking at the multiple asset classes. There might be a couple of other Forex bits and pieces that slowly start to drip through as we maybe, I'm not saying definitely, but as we might be opening the gates to the FX market again. It hasn't been too bad for us. I think the sweet spot is just not doing it too much, isn't it? It's just having a couple of background FX trades now and again, and just not really paying it too much close attention. Nothing in the metal markets, unfortunately, this time, but it does look like it could propose a couple of opportunities for us in the next 24 to 48 hours. So we will be keeping an eye on that one. Energy markets again, natural gas, we got the alarm in under structure. UK Brent looks like it's ready to rock and roll. And then we've got US 30 Dow Jones long and the NAS 100 short. So we're looking pretty decent, very nice and balanced, plenty opportunities. And yeah, feeling pretty good. So if you have any questions or anything at all that you'd like to find out more about, please head over to the trading room and fire your requests, questions, charts, anything at all in there to do with the markets, and I will get back to you ASAP. If you're out there in YouTube and you're watching this live, then guys, I hope you enjoyed the session as always. We are open door policy here, so please come and say hi in the trading room. And yeah, look forward to catching up with you in the charts. So take care, good luck, trade safe, and I'll see you then. Thanks guys. Bye-bye.